I'm Jory, and I'm a student on Wave Robotics, and I'm here with Mai Lee Chang. All right, what first interested you about the STEM field?
Jory, thank you so much for having me, first of all. It's really exciting to be back here at North and just to be able to see all the amazing things that Wave Robotics is doing. So yeah, it's a really exciting time for me to be here, so thank you. That's a really good question. For me, I got really interested in STEM actually later on during my high school years, especially in my physics class. That's when it really clicked for me to be able to see how math and science could be applied together, where you have an idea and then that idea can come to life. And I also really like that there's a proactive aspect of it, that you can design things to help prevent certain problems or to work at the forefront of it. So that's pretty much what really draws me to STEM.
Yeah, that's good. All right, what do you think was your favorite project to work on at NASA and why?
Wow, I really loved my time at NASA and just was really grateful to have all the opportunities there. But if I had to choose one, I think it would be the robotics related projects. And I say that because it was from those robotics projects that really inspired me to want to learn more about what's under the hood of these robots, like how are these algorithms work, and so and to come back to pursue my PhD. So I'd say if I had to pick, it would be those ones.
All right. Do you think it's easier to work with robots or humans, and why?
I would say it depends. It depends on the situation. Because robots and humans have different capabilities, different strengths, right? And so depending on the situation, so for instance, if it's a search and rescue type of scenario, then a robot has great advantage. It could be eyes to you for us to be able to have information of us, where it's not safe for us to be at, right? But if you're talking about a task that's like, hey, brainstorm an idea come up with a solution for this, then I think that's where the human would be obviously better, because robots are not at that level where creativity, to have that type of creativity that's like us. And so I think it depends, and I think that's the beauty of it, is that we can leverage these different strengths.
Yeah, I agree. Where do you see automation in the next 10 years?
It's exciting, I think, to think about automation in the next 10 years, because now we're already seeing like robots who are, say, helping nurses at hospitals, robots who are helping with maintenance tasks in facilities that are in remote locations and hard for us to access, for instance. And so I think it's really exciting to see what the next 10 years would be. I would expect to see more robots into our homes and workplaces especially. And a big part of that is also depending on how affordable and also people's adoption of these technologies. But I think it's looking exciting. Yes.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see what happens in the next 10 years. What is one piece of advice you would give a high school student considering pursuing a STEM career?
Yeah, wow, there's so much here. I think one is just not letting barriers hold you back, because barriers is something that's common to us, right? But like the way how we see these barriers really influences how we react to them. And so as I kind of mentioned, the way how I process it is barriers can be a bridge to something greater, or it could be a weight that holds you down. And so I think that we all have a choice to see how that situation is and to react on it. So I encourage students to keep on going, not to let challenges hold you down, because engineering, STEM in general, it's a challenging field. But I think that if you really love it, you will find ways to overcome that.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for ways WAVE can encourage and support more students who want to join our team or pursue robotics and engineering?
I think one thing to consider is, with recruitment, you have to be really intentional, right? Like, this is awesome that you guys are opening tonight with the Hmong community, inviting the Hmong community to come and see the amazing robotics that you guys are doing here, and just opportunities for the young ones here. And so I think that's awesome that you guys are doing that, and that you're specifically very intentional about a particular group. And so I think that that is a great strategy to use. I also think that robotics itself has a wow factor, and so like for us, when we try to recruit others for lab and just for people to come and do our experiments, we usually put our robots out in the hallway where there's a lot of people, and the robots do the recruiting themselves. So like probably you guys may be doing all of this already, but like events like homecoming and stuff like that, where have your robots out there, like show the amazing work that you're doing. And maybe you can invite, similar to this, invite a specific like student org to come and check out your lab and have that more personal connection.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. What inspired you to keep it your chosen career path?
I think one of my biggest inspiration comes from my family. My mom and my dad's generations, the sacrifices they've made and just the bravery that they show and the resilience that they showed. So just a little context, like my family, we immigrated to the U.S. as refugees of the Vietnam War. And so growing up, it was tough, but just seeing how they persevered through all of that is a great inspiration for me. And it's something that I reflect on time to time to help me keep pushing. Yes.
That's really cool. What inspired you to join Engineers Without Borders, and are there any experiences that really stick out to you and continue to inspire you?
Yeah, Engineers Without Borders, their main vision is a world where every community can meet their basic needs of water and power, for instance. And it's a vision that I also believe in, and I wanted to contribute in some way. And the amazing thing with engineering skills is that it transfers, and you're able to apply it outside of just your actual career. And so it was awesome for me to be able to do that, but at the same time, just realizing that the core or the goal of EWB is to empower these villages, to give them hope that tomorrow, for a better tomorrow. And so that's a model that I really believe in, is the empowerment aspect and the hope aspect of it, and being able to play a part in that. And so my time with EWB is definitely a very special experience for me.
Yeah. Did you experience any barriers on your path to robotics and engineering, and how did you overcome them?
Yes, absolutely, a lot. I will share one. So during my undergrad years, actually I think it was my third year, where I considered switching out of engineering because I thought the course load was too much. I wasn't sure if I was cut out for it. And after I talked to a couple of mentors about it, and realized that what was happening was I was just stretched too thin. I was rowing for Wisconsin during that time. I was really active in student orgs as well, and all I needed to do was prioritize and manage my time well. And so I ended up dropping rowing and cutting back on my student org involvement, and I was fine with my classes. So from that experience, I learned that sometimes the issue you think is the issue may not be it. And just really helpful for those mentors to be able to help me see, hey, you are just really stretched too thin. So yes, but it's a learning experience. I think each time, whatever you face, you learn something from it and just move on. So yeah.
Yeah. What would you consider to be your biggest accomplishment?
Wow. That's a loaded question. I think it would be just deciding to pursue my PhD, because I really love what I was doing at NASA, and it was a hard decision to leave. But at the same time, I also had a huge curiosity about robotics and algorithm design and the decision-making process. And so I think just making that decision to return to graduate school to get my PhD in that area, I think it's the biggest accomplishment so far. Yeah, and I'm really thankful because I've learned so much in the time that I am in grad school. Not to say that I wouldn't learn much if I stayed with NASA, but I think as you grow and as you learn more, your interest shifts. And for me, I was always chasing what was really interesting for me. And so, I mean, my curiosity was the driving force for me to make those decisions. So,
Yeah, I think that applies to a lot of people too.
yes.
If you could go back in time, what advice would you give your younger self?
I think I would tell my younger self to not worry too much, like to absorb in the moment, to really enjoy it, to focus more on the present. I mean, we can be very strategic about where we want to be in a career path, but at the same time, a big chunk of it is just enjoying it all. So I would stress that. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking to you, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, me too.